The bigger the gun, the bigger the fun. That's right, we're talking Children of the Vault, number 3 on...
The Newest Mutants!
Hi, I'm Laz, your favorite time-displaced mutant, and I read comics so you don't have to. Before we begin, if you enjoy videos such as this, please like and subscribe for more mutant mayhem. And now, let's get started. Our story begins with Bishop and Cable pointing a big effing gun at the children's city. Cable is like, pull the trigger. Bishop pulls the trigger and shoom! In a series of panels, we see they fired a singularity gun, multiple shots in fact, at the city. And what we see is the city and the children reacting with precision. However, the singularity hits the first one, and 83 children are dead, and 12 city blocks cease to exist, despite the best efforts of one of the children of the Vault, Pharaoh, who sealed the first singularity into a gravity Klein bottle, whatever that is. Quick disclaimer, these are not actual children. Children of the Vault refer to these vat-grown clones that have super advanced abilities. If you've been reading the comic or watching these videos, that's knowledge you would already have, but I just want people to know they're not killing children. Anyways, back to Cable and Bishop, who are now in a hovercraft of sorts with a minigun on it. Fun. So, more singularities are captured by the children. First, Prisa superheats time around 2 of them to capture the singularities, and then another, Olvido, well, he just straight up eats them. He's got a pocket universe in the lining of his intestines or something. I wish I had that. Very normal, right? In the end, Atomo stops the gun, which I think was like on automatic mode or something. And he stops it with flowers. Very pretty. At this point, Cable and Bishop have snuck onto the city. And it wasn't long until Capitan, one of the children, one of the leaders of the children, in fact, begins to attack them. Capitan first tries to mock Cable and his mutant abilities. Cable says his mutant ability is surprise. He tells Capitan to look behind him. Capitan is like, "You think I'm an idiot?" And that's when the sentinels attacked, and they just start going ham on the children's city. We see in a flashback where Cable is explaining what he did. Cable implanted paranoia into the mind of a mid-level Orcus scientist, and they detected a security breach, and somehow Orcus is controlled by like 5 brains in a vat that make all their decisions. It's very weird, and I didn't know that until I read this comic. Anyways, they decide that the primary threat to Orcus is the children, and they mobilize a full frontal assault. And since Orcus conveniently has a sentinel factory on the surface of the sun, which it uses for energy and just pumps out endless sentinels for Orcus, they start to attack the children. The children, of course, are very good at taking down sentinels, and thus we get a showdown of children versus the sentinels, just the way the mutant gods intended. Seraphina, another leader of the children, of course, is very concerned. She said, "The message was working!" And she wonders why the sentinels are attacking. Capitan says, "Oh, you've lost the argument." And this, of course, refers to the debate they had in previous books where Capitan just wanted to annihilate all the humans on Earth. And Seraphina was like, well, we could spread the message and some of them will actually become, they'll mutate into children. And that's what Seraphina was doing. So Capitan is like, you lost the argument. And now I think he just wants to kill all the humans, just, outright. Very fun. And it's here we get some very awesome and super sick battle sequences with Cable and Bishop fighting children. But their plan requires them to split up. They each have a mission. Cable tells Bishop that he's counting on him, and Bishop is like, I get that you don't trust me, but have you ever known me to stop once my mind is set? And Cable's like, fair point. All right, back to the children. Capitan is now smashing the crap out of some sentinels, and we get a little monologue from Seraphina, says he loves this. He loves fighting, and in every incarnation, he is a born conqueror. A new child is now released from the birthing vats or whatever, and it's someone named Muerte 13. Apparently his line was discontinued a long time ago because he killed a bunch of people, but now he was brought back because they really need a lot of murder and Megadeth, not the band. And we're back with Seraphina, who begins to have a premonition of the future, of an immense intelligence, of dominion. It's enough to make her fall from the sky. But what is dominion? And as the war is fought in and around and on the city, the people of Earth become divided. Well, they're already divided over the message, with humans all repeating the phrase of become the future, become the future. This message pits families against one another, and it's spreading and becoming more dangerous to humans day by day, even though at some point Orcus shuts down the internet to try and stop the message from spreading. It's too late. Cut on over back to Bishop, who has made it to the children's incubation chamber, and he immediately gets into a fight with the guardian of the chamber. Now we're back over to Seraphina. She's awake. She senses that the humans are not what they seem. I'm not sure if she's talking about Orcus or if she's talking about the mutants like Cable and Bishop, or just humans in general, but that's what she says. And then she flies as fast as she can to the control center of the city. And the control center is like a giant face, right? And Seraphina arrives at the giant face, and it's too late. Cable is there with a gun pointed at this face. It's a very, 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 very big gun. And now he's like, ha ha ha, I've got the upper hand.
And that's the book!
Welcome now to the part of the show where I say thank you for making it this far. And I like to ask a question about the book. Today's question: did you like the clever plan that Cable put into place, having the Sentinels attack their enemies, the children? I thought was a perfect twist. Great strategy here. Outthinking these super geniuses, the children, right? Also, getting your enemies to fight each other is always brilliant. It's always, always, always a great idea. This is my favorite issue of the series, and because of that, right? And, well, there's also a lot of awesome battle sequences in this book. But if it were up to you, how would you fight the children? Let me know in the comments. Now,
back to the show.
First, let us check out the book itself with a cover by one Yannick Paquette and Mr. Guru-efx. Check that out. Cool cover. We got Bishop and Cable and giant guns. That's what it's all about. Very nice, very nice. This issue was written by Dennis Camp, art by Luca Maresca. Color artist is Carlos Lopez. Letterer, Corey Petit. And as always, our editor-in-chief of Marvel Comics, Mr. C.B. Cebulski. Okay, let's get to my takeaways. Firstly, of course, the message is just a veiled allegory for propaganda, right? Nothing screams, "Don't believe me," like a group of people who say they'll fix everything, right? Whether it's a person, a political movement, a religion, or anything, you gotta be a little skeptical, people. Ask questions, try and get to the truth, please. I'm also not saying don't believe anything, because you can go too far, right? You can be believing everything and then not going to not believing anything, right? I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is don't follow a message just because it's everywhere, right? You see it, think about things. Think about what people are saying. Think about, who's got a hand in the pot, who's got their thumb in the pudding. Follow them. You know what I'm talking about? Look. All I'm saying is the message is propaganda. Don't fall for propaganda. Try and think things through. Secondly, I really loved the Sentinel trick. I thought it was very clever. I thought that was good writing. I wouldn't have thought of that. I thought it was cool. So there you go. It really made me like the book. I thought it was really, really, really good little twist. Okay, look. Besides the obvious political message of don't fall for frickin' propaganda. Those are my takeaways. And now it's time for my 3 favorite panels. My third favorite panel is on the opening page, where we see a giant effing gun, which was given to Cable by his dad. Who's his dad? We know who his daddy is. It's Cyclops, right? I love this. Big guns are awesome, and hey, it wouldn't be a book with Cable if there was not some ridiculously large guns. This one, it takes the cake, or whatever mutants eat. My second favorite panel belongs to the Sentinel attack on the city. I love seeing all the different Sentinels out there. Great scene. Lots of good detail as well. Again, I love the plot twist here, so I had to spotlight this particular panel. But as you all know, at least maybe a few of you do, I am a sucker for full panel last page reveals. And this one has a great image of Cable pointing a gun, a giant gun, at the control center face of the children's city. Outstanding play by Cable to get some leverage on the children, and very good art, very detailed. I like it. Plus the children's city face is cool looking too. And that's the show. But before I go, you know me, I love to share a comic book that is somehow related, and screw it, we're just going to show off X-Force #1. This is a classic book. Lots of kids who collected comics in the 90s have this book. Hell, I have 2 of them. One of them's still in a bag, like the original polystyrene bag or whatever they call that plastic on it. Anyways, there's a card in it. It's a Deadpool card. I'm not taking it out of the bag just to show you the Deadpool card, but this book was written by Fabian Nicienza and Rob Liefeld with art by Mr. Rob Liefeld. This was a pretty edgy mutant team back in the 90s that evolved out of the New Mutants. It's truly a golden age for some people my age who read comic books, and, you know, the early 90s, mid 90s, great time for comics. And that's the show. I don't know why I sang it. Join me next time as we talk Jean Grey #3. Next time on
The Newest Mutants!